Catherine Anderson. Hi, Catherine. Good. And Kristen and Bettina. Bettina. Wow. Bettina. Cool. And Ron Jr. Whoa, look at this. Who we got? Barbara Wong. Whoa, Morpheus. Ooh, how cool is that? And who's got hats? Everybody's got a hat, I see not. But that's okay. Alan Cabell. Oh my God. Alan from Portland, Oregon. Oh my God. That is so cool, Alan. Well, everybody's been muted here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it might be chaos, apparently. Cianara. Wow. And Catherine Carter. Hi. Luann Overmeyer. Nice. And Carol in. Is that Edmonton? Is that Edmonton, Canada. Oh, Canada is here. Oh my God. How's the weather in Canada? Snowy, I bet. And then, and let's see who else. Who's Truth? Truth, you're in the dark. It's the dark truth. This is the deep state or something like that. This is the dark secret. And then let's see who we got here. Ron, good to see you, man. And Morpheus, wow. Morpheus in San Francisco. And Catherine in Charlotte, still, I think, North Carolina. Wow. I love North Carolina. I love the mountains of North Carolina. It's the first national forest was in western North Carolina near Asheville. I work in near Asheville, Brevard, North Carolina. And in this little town, it's the capital of white squirrels. Now, white squirrels, they're not albinos. They're actual real squirrels, not weird, but they're mostly, they populate this one town, and that's most of them in America, in Brevard, North Carolina. And I went there, and then I walked into the white squirrel shop. And all of a sudden, I find myself buying little squirrels and a squirrel mask. And now I'm going to go out there and find the white squirrels. So I'm tracking them, I'm going into the forest, whatever, and trying to see them. But they're smart little guys, and they're beautiful. But anyway, after a couple weeks there, I made a deck. It's called the White Squirrel Cards. White Squirrel. Of course, that's me as a white squirrel. And I do these. There's a cool little deck, 44 cards. Of course, you need to have these. But I love doing these squirrel readings, white squirrel readings. Because number one, squirrels are amazing little creatures. I mean, if you want to be hip to today's world, they're so clever and creative and quick and mobile and foxy and blah, 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 blah. And they're white, they're gorgeous. And I think I made this deck in about 3 weeks. And then the White Squirrel Shop published it. So not often you get a publisher. So you can order these somewhere on James Wanless Oracle. Is that my website? I don't know.
That's right.
I think so. But these are cool. And these are fun. These are fun, but there's wisdom. They call them wisdom cards here, white squirrels. So I know you didn't come to be on this Zoom to hear about this, but what the hell? I'm just wasting time, frankly, trying to make sure everybody's in here.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
There were 150 people signed up for this. And you know how many people are on this Zoom right now? Maybe 30, 40?
Actually, we're up to 88 at this point.
It's how many?
88.
88 are in here?
Yeah, we have 88 people.
That really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but when I made Voyager, I channeled Voyager, sort of, but I had a channel number, and my channel number was 88. And I don't know why, I just felt 88 was cool. And so I just kind of download 88, whatever came to me about whatever card. And then I talked about it once in Tokyo because I worked there a lot. And one of my students went out and bought a hat with 88 on it. And so I'm going to take off this hat. Now I'm 88. Now I'm channeling. I've moved into the 88 mode. And I had no idea why 88. I really didn't. That's me. I'm pretty intuitive. If it feels right, I do it. I procrastinate. I don't wait. Jump in before you're ready. Be the squirrel. And so it wasn't till last year, I think, that I found out that 88 is in our constellation, in the Milky Way galaxy. There are 88 constellations in our galaxy. And I'm apparently supposed to be Captain Voyager. So, you know, we're going to launch here pretty soon. So, I mean, I just felt this is so appropriate that Voyager is actually outside of Voyager spacecraft. I mean, Voyager Tarot is named after, my namesake is Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft that NASA put up 40 years ago in the 70s. And I named Voyager Tarot after those because that was exploring the universe, the external universe, and Voyager Tarot is an exploration of the inner universe here. And so I follow Voyager. Again, I'm going to waste a little bit of time here. Voyager now, there's two Voyager spacecrafts. I mean, this is my leader. I follow Voyager. Okay, these little Voyager spacecrafts are as big as a VW Beetle car. The little VW Beetle. That's how big Voyager spacecrafts 1 and 2 are. They are both alive. They are communicating back to NASA. And they are 12 billion miles away. 12 billion miles away. And they are past our sun's system. It's past the gravity of the sun. It's past, you know. The heliosphere. It's called the heliosphere. Voyagers, they're beyond that, and they're now in deep space, billions and billions and billions of miles. And so one of the things that's so cool about Voyager is even though they're in deep space, there's nothing there. That's BS. There is more density in deep space than NASA or anybody ever thought. Is indivisible. They're not calling it dark energy anymore. What a terrible word that is, dark energy. Like, wow, it's like the deep state or something like that. Forget it. It's called quintessence now. Quintessence. Quin is the 5 in Latin. Quintessence. There's fire, air, water, and earth, the 4 elements. And then the 5th is spirit. It's the vibe. It's consciousness. It's deep space. It's quintessence. And that is so fascinating to the astrophysicists. And one thing I want to say is that all of us here now are in the quintessence of Voyager. We are in the Voyager vibe. We are on the Voyager wave here. We are in the Voyager noosphere, which is a sphere of consciousness. And I like to call it quintessence. It's our gestalt. It's our zeitgeist. You know, so what we're going to do here today is we're going to pick cards for the coming year. We'll get to that. But when not everybody's going to have a deck and do it. You can always do this reading by yourself alone later. Okay, you have the layout, right? You all have this thing, which is the reading. This is the reading we're going to do. This is it. You can all download that. You can do that on your own. We're going to do that in a group here today, in a group. So, and I like to say, su carta es mi carta. Did I say that right? Did I speak Spanish? Su carta es mi carta, which means your card is my card. Because we're all in the same sphere. We're in the same bubble. We're in the Voyager bubble. quintessent space. And so when somebody picks a card for yourself, you're also picking it for the group here today. So we're going to do a 10-card reading, hopefully. And so let's say Dave up here, Dave Ingerman, picks a card. That's our card. We all share the same roadmap because Voyager is a roadmap and we're all buying into this particular roadmap here. And so every card for anybody else at any time will have some application to ourself. And so each one of you, when you want to pick a card, you're going to volunteer and raise your hand and you're going to pick a card. But I'm going way beyond I'm supposed to do. But I have a poll question for you. I have a poll question. This is kind of cool. All right. Voyager spacecrafts 1 and 2, the reason why I brought this up is they are carrying the golden record, the gold record. Do you all know what the gold record is? The gold record was made, this is in the 70s, a record that if aliens, ETs, find this little spacecraft and they go inside, they're going to find a record. Now, hopefully they can play the damn thing. I have no idea. But that record, it's gold, plays, it tells people who find this thing what Earth was like in the 70s. It's got rock and roll. I think it's got Stevie Wonder on there. It's probably got Jimi Hendrix and hopefully, you know, these cats, Monterey Pop maybe, and all that kind of stuff, because it's a record. It's sonic. It's a sonic memory. But I'm thinking now, because before I croak, before I leave this place and go to the real quintessence, I'm thinking of doing a time capsule. A time capsule, a Voyager time capsule. A Voyager spacecraft's up there. So and this time capsule will have the Voyager deck in it because it's a visual memorabilia of what life is on Earth. It's Voyager. It's amazing. Okay. And maybe some other kinds of artifacts, plus the hat. Of course, 88 will be in there. People wonder what the hell is that? But here's your poll question. And Linda, can we do that now?
You got it. Here it comes.
But the poll question is, where should I bury the Voyager time capsule? At the beach? I'm a beach guy. At the mountaintop, I love to be on top. In the forest, I love woods, or the jungle, ooh, or maybe just the desert. So I want you all to pick one of these places because I am serious. I am going to do a Voyager time capsule. It's called a geocache. You know, people who are hip to internet, geocache is a game. So when I bury it on geocache, there's 1 million people on that. They can use Google and all the rest to try and find this sucker where the Voyager time capsule was buried. So I want you to please give me some guidance here about where we should do that. Okay. Can you do that? Just
yep.
How do you do it?
Going on right now. We've got almost everyone has voted, but keep going. We're going to wait. We've got 75% of the people have voted. So we're just going to wait for everybody to get in here. We currently have 100 participants with us tonight. So
wow. Well, maybe we should have an other under the bed in some cabin out in the way, you know, or something like that. Thank you. But I'm sorry, I went ahead further than I should have been going already. I'm 88. So Linda, you have some housekeeping stuff. Why don't you?
I do. While we're waiting for all the votes to come in on the where we're going to be putting the Voyager time capsule. Let me go back over here and just pin myself. Okay, so I am Linda, and I am administering this with James tonight. I want to welcome everybody here. Thank you for coming. We have a really big crowd tonight, and this is really exciting. We have people here from all over the world. And we have 16 countries joining us. We have Japan, wow, Netherlands, Spain, United Kingdom, Australia, Austria, Canada, Taiwan, Puerto Rico, Germany, Poland, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Brazil, New Zealand, and the United States. So
how about wow? How about Portland? Portland, Oregon. Is that a country?
That's in there too, I'm sure. But I wanted to just do a couple things before we get started tonight. Thank you all for coming. We really are excited to have you here tonight. This goes to ask people to pick a card. If you would like to be in the mix of people to choose from, we're going to randomly choose people to pick cards. just do a hands up or a raise your hand or a thumbs up. That can be found at the bottom of your screen and the little icon, the smiley face icon there that says reactions. So if you go to that little button down there and hit reactions, that will give you either the hands up or thumbs up, or give us some indication that you want to be picked, and we will randomly choose someone to pick the cards. If you're new to Zoom, on the bottom left corner, you have your mute button and your video button. You can stop or start your video of yourself. There you go. I see hands up. Yay. Thank you. Thanks. It's working. Mute, when I ask you to unmute yourself, that's where you're going to go. Bottom left corner, just unmute yourself when that time comes. And chat is disabled, obviously, because we have so many people here tonight. And let me see. The view, you can adjust your view of this in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see the little word view, and you can adjust how you see everybody if you want to see everybody in little thumbnails. James can see all of your faces, and I'm going to be scrolling for him so that he makes sure to see everyone who's here tonight. So I want to make sure that you feel seen and you don't feel lost in the crowd, because we see you and we're very, hello, we just see you waving there. Hello, and thank you so much for coming here tonight with us. I just wanted to quickly give a little introduction to James, things that you might not know about him.
No.
So these are just quick little facts about James, and then we're going to get started with the reading. But I wanted to tell you a couple things that, maybe you don't know about him. So he's primarily known as the creator of the best-selling Voyager Tarot, the revolutionary Voyager Tarot, which has sold over 250,000 copies since its first publication 35 years ago in 1985. It's been printed in several different languages. The Voyager deck keeps on going, like its namesake, as James was talking about. The Voyager 1 and 2 is what it was named after. And they're still out there in space, 12 billion miles away, communicating back to us. So our hope is that the Voyager deck goes on and on forever.
Yeah.
James is often called Captain Voyager. Years and years ago, he left being a political science university professor from Columbia University and went on his hero's journey, vision quest, to Africa, Middle East, India, and Asia to discover his true destiny. And this journey around the world led him to the tarot and the creation of Voyager, which took him 4 years to create. And as you know, James is a writer. His Way of the Great Oracle book, I'm not sure if anyone has this book, but if you don't have it, it's on Amazon, and it is the Bible of the Voyager, a comprehensive, amazing book that goes with the deck. He's also he has other Voyager books in his collection: Strategic Intuition for the 21st Century and the DIY Mindfulness Psychology. So these are things that you can find on his website. Also the amazing Star Tree PDF, which is just an amazing ultimate Voyager guide. So forthcoming is his Fortune Formula course and book. And a consummate educator, Mr. Wanless, has created a certification course for you to become a professional Voyager reader, coach, counselor, teacher, and master. So we have a lot of different levels of this course, and we have online courses coming up soon, which we'll tell you more about. But in addition to his work on intuition and innovation, he has also his Intuition at Work book. And that's led him to be known as a corporate shaman and trainer, keynote speaker, and business consultant. So these are things about James we just want to let you know about. And so 12 years ago, at the retirement age of 66, his vision was to refire, renew, and reinvent himself. After working on a set of nature cards for 20 years, James published his Sustain Yourself cards for how to live long, happy, healthy, and wealthy. Since then, he's authored Sustainable Life, New Success, Nature's 101 Secrets of Success, and one of my favorite books, Adventures with Green Man, my mythic mentor. All of these books are just magnificent. My favorite one that I just want to tell you about real quick is the Little Stone book. I don't know if you all have seen this, but this is a gem of a book, pure genius. And We're going to be republishing this book soon in a journal form. So keep your eyes open for this little beautiful book to emerge in our store. You're going to love it. It's brilliant and beautiful, and you will never look at little stones the same again. So at 78 years young, his life is his message that you're going to find in all of his inspirational work. His work has taken him all around the world, and he's presently working throughout Asia and especially Japan. And the most exciting thing, we're just about ready to go here into the reading, but most exciting thing coming this year is we are days away from releasing his first in a series of online courses, which are just going to be extraordinary. I've had a sneak peek at these, and he is brilliant and wonderful, and of course, entertaining. So if you've ever wanted to dive into the Voyager deck deeper and learn how to read it for yourself or for others professionally, watch for this course and jump on board with this, because this is going to be really fun. You're going to love it. So we'll keep you posted on that, and we will send you news of its release coming up very soon. I'm thrilled to have you all here with us today. We have a lot of people here. We're so thankful for you to come. And that means that you've visited James's new website. And if you haven't already, please browse through this beautiful new site and stay tuned for his busy schedule. One last thing, in late January and February, he's going to be teaching how to sustain yourself green wisdom cards for eco-coaching yourself and others professionally. So you can find that under the events in his website. Also be aware of James's current development of Voyager self-care psychology, which is evolutionary, timely, and doable, and most effective. So he rolls this out through his Captain Voyager's log on his website. So on his website, if you go there, you're going to see the Captain Voyager's log. It is just filled with daily fun things from James that you're just going to love. So make sure you check that out. And stay with us through the year, because we are launching lots of wonderful things, and we really want you to be with us for all the fun things we have going. And so now I am going to formally introduce Captain Voyager, James Wanless.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Linda. Thank you. Beautiful. All right. Okay, so this is the reading, you guys. Now, this is when I do readings, and I want to say Voyager is not fortune telling, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of. It's fortune creation. We're in charge of our future. We make the future, but we need a roadmap, and Voyager is the roadmap. And it's a 21st century roadmap. It's not an old roadmap. If you follow old roadmaps like I did in Florida once a few years ago, I ended up in the swamp in the Everglades because it was an old map. And so a lot of people use these old tarot decks, which I think they're okay, but they're old. They're old roadmaps. But the roadmap is a map. It tells us where to go, how to navigate life, manage life, etc. But it doesn't get you there. The only thing that gets us to where we want to go is have the map and then act on it, follow it with action. And so this roadmap that we're going to do here today with all of us, this is the Voyager quintessence, Team Voyager here. It's applicable to everybody, like I said before, but you can always do it on your own. But it really takes the action, because this is about creating 2021. It's not about letting a piece of paper predict my life. That's insane. And particularly in our day and age today, which is so much change, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow even. Even the Harvard Business School has said that tarot is actually not a bad idea. This is why these guys are very analytical. They're like, whoa, we need new imagination, new intuition. And that's kind of where I come in. Now, people always want to be successful. We want 2021 to be a great year. And mostly when people talk about that, they talk about the world, my work, my money, my health. I hope my relationship, my home's okay. I hope I keep living, A lot of that kind of stuff. Great. But really, success is an inside job. Success out in the world is an inside job. That's always stuck with me, and I think it's always true here. So when we look at our reading, the first 4 cards are going to be spirit, mind, heart, and body. Mind, heart, body, and spirit. So the key principle of the Voyager roadmap is wholeness, wholeness, wholeness. Because if you're whole, mind, heart, body, and spirit, which humans mostly are not, we're mostly conflicted. But if you look at every other life form on Earth, I don't care if it's bacteria, a worm, an eagle, a whale, whatever, except for humans, they are completely integrated within themselves. Now, albeit it might be simple, emotions and mind and all that, no doubt. But that is our job. That's the one thing we can control. It's not the world outside, it's the world inside, who we are, how we think, how we feel, how we sense, how we be. You know, this is the wholeness principle. And once you're whole, integrated within yourself, you have synergy. And synergy is the root word, comes from sun ergos, sunergy. And when you have wholeness within, like the sun, you can keep going and going and going, and you are powerful as hell. And you can keep renewing yourself because you're synergistic, because this will contribute to that. The way we are set up right now with the way we grow up is my mind doesn't kind of get along with my body, but my emotions say this, but my spirit says that, and my friends say this, and my frenemy says that, and we don't know what the hell. But the thing we need to do first and foremost is get it together within ourselves. And that's the brilliance. I don't know who invented this. The brilliance of the tarot are the 4 suits, and each suit, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So that's what we're going to start with today. So this is a roadmap that shows us how to create the future. So we'll get the information here, but information isn't totally it. It's information. It's passive. But if we act on it, then hey, that's when we can really take off and launch our life the way we want it to be. Fortune creation. This is an evolution of the tarot, a big time evolution. And unfortunately, I look at the tarot world today and I see it just full of, nothing's wrong with, you know, with fairies and angels and all of that, but it's just a little, it's wonderful, it's beautiful art, but it's really not getting to the real essence of how we live. And that's what I wanted to do with Voyager. So we're going to start at the top. Up here, this would be our crown chakra, our aura, our higher self, the so-called spirit card. So what I've done, and what I'd love for you to do, if you're going to do this on your own, and maybe you don't have time here today, but we're all going to do this together. You're going to pick up, you're going to volunteer, one of you for each of these positions. You're going to pick, and I'm going to have you, and then I'm going to spread the cards out. And then with the quantum, synchronistic, quintessential stuff that's going on energetically, these fields that we're part of, I will put my hands over the cards. You'll tell me when to stop, and that'll be our card, your card, and our card. Mi carta es su carta, right? So I think we get the principle of this. Now, the first position is spirit. And so I divide the deck up. I don't like just using the whole deck. It's okay, but we're only going to use the so-called spiritual cards, the wands. The wands are the fire cards, the light, the cards to enlightenment, higher consciousness. Come on. And those are the only cards, ace through 10, that we're going to pick for this first position. So we get very specific answers, which I really love. Specificity, I think, is way cool. Okay. So, but when we say spirit, what the heck does that mean? All right. For me, spirit is the life force. We come from the life force. We're living the life force here, the great spirit, the source, what God, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. But it's that creative life force that gives us life and carries us forth with life. Now, the other thing about nature is everything in nature, everything in nature except human beings, again, we're the outliers, these humans that we are. Everything else in nature knows exactly who it is and what it's supposed to do. Everything except humans. And so the first and foremost thing in our lives is to know our life purpose. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? And a lot of us times, I don't know, you know, we even go to a bookstore to figure, read somebody telling me what I should be or maybe not or whatever. We don't We don't get the proper education to understand ourselves here. So these Wands cards are going to do either one thing, well, they could do both, but the Wands cards are energy cards. And the card we're going to pick is going to show us how to either find your life purpose by joining into life force, and life force will take you to your purpose if you really believe that and do that. Or if you know your life purpose, in Japan, they call it ikigai. I love that word, ikigai, ikigai, ikigai. And the studies in Japan of people who know their ikigai, their life purpose, oh my God, they live 10 years longer. They're healthier, they're happier, there's everything. I mean, it's it. So the most important thing in life is at least to try and explore and discover your life force. So these cards will show you what life force to get a part of, and it'll take you there. Or if you know your ikigai, your life purpose, this is what's going to help you accelerate your living of that life force, of that purpose, of that life purpose that we have here. So either way, it's a win. It's a win, but it's energy, and it's not just going to happen because I saw the card and my card is cool. It's like, okay, I've got to take some action on this. And this is kind of where my whole thing with Voyager coaching comes in. Voyager coaching is not just reading a card. It's really saying, okay, this is the card. How can you be that card? What's the action you can take to fulfill it? So having said that, who wants, first person here, who wants to raise your hand or do whatever? Linda will pick somebody. Who wants to be picking this first card for yourself and for the entire Voyager team?
Okay, so if you're new to this, if you just entered this, we're raising our hand by that little icon down below, which says reactions. You can raise your hand or do a thumbs up. And we are now going to scroll through, and I'm going to unmute someone in a second here.
Yeah, and remember, the card she picks, he picks is our card too.
Barbara Wong.
Okay, Barbara.
No.
Can you hear me?
There we go. We can hear you. Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, Barbara, can we see Barbara? Well, she's there somewhere. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Barbara. All right. So Barbara, what I'm doing is I'm putting these 10 cards face down on my desk here. And I want you quantumly, this is synchronicity quintessence at work. I want you to tell me when to stop, and that will be our card. Our card. Okay, so Barbara, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. And Barbara, where are you from?
Boston?
Austin, Texas?
No, Boston.
Oh, Boston. Boston,
Yeah,
Texas.
outside
Yeah,
of Boston.
I know. That's okay. So, this is a beautiful card. You did good, Barbara. And if anybody picks a card and wants that card, send me your mailing address and I'll sign the card and send it to you. It's called Growth. It's the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands down at the bottom, called Growth. This is a redwood tree card, reaching for the light. Reaching for the light to be the star that we are. We come from the stars to be a star, like duh. I mean, this is bottom line, life purpose for all of us, which is to grow and claim the star that we are. Even physicists say we come from stardust. We're made of stardust. There is no reason not to be a star, to shine your light. That's an ultimate life purpose. I mean, that's it. Really, but to get there, you've got to reach for it. You've got to climb for it. You've got to want it. You've got to go after it. And by the way, this is such a great Voyager card, because one of the things that Voyager spacecrafts 1 and 2 have shown us in deep space now is the universe, our universe, is absolutely expanding. It's growing and growing faster and faster and faster. And since we are a product of the universe, product of these 88 constellations, we are the universe with a Y-O-U, universe. We are the universe. So if we're not growing, like this card, if we're not expanding, if we're not exploring, we're not discovering, we're not learning, we're dying. So the most important thing in life for me is curiosity. If you got your CQ, which to me is curiosity intelligence, which is way higher in my opinion than IQ, which is like, so what? You know, if curiosity is the name of the game. So a lot of you are here today because of your curiosity. But then you want to see, well, how can I grow? Oh, maybe I'll try that because that's something I've never done. Well, do it. Don't think about it. Well, should I do it or whatever? Jump into it, because this is an intuition tool, you know, and if you feel it, you do it. And the reason why I made Voyager is because I felt it. One day I was over coffee, the biggest drug of all, caffeine. I'm in the kitchen with my friend Ken, the artist, the hands-on artist. I said, Ken, out of the blue, I felt, Ken, let's make the magician. And Ken said, who? What? Why? How? Why? And 3 days later, we had the magician card, which the original Voyagers are about so big. Collage art, cut and paste, magazines, stuff like that. And we did that for 4 years because I dived into it. We jumped into it. We procrastinate. This BS about procrastinating is ridiculous. It means you're a perfectionist and you're lost. Life is wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is an incredible Zen Buddhist concept of there's no perfection. Perfection is bogus and nothing is done and everything is impermanent. So do it. Just jump in. And if you're not making mistakes, I don't trust you. You're not following your curiosity. So procrastinate. The best way to grow is if you feel like, oh, that would be interesting to try. It scares the hell out of me. Do it. Jump for it. And now, Linda, I want to ask, is there anybody in our group who's got a really has to say something about this card at all? Anybody want to put up a hand and do that? Anybody?
Okay. I see Carolyn Geller here. Okay, Carolyn, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Great.
Okay.
I'm excited to just be in with James Wanless because I had my first deck in 1988. So
Whoa, 88.
I know, with Brew Joy. I'm the one that
With Brew. Oh,
Yes,
with
sir.
Brew. Oh, okay.
So what I see about this card for me at this point in my life, I see that dark hand. I have a very wrinkled hand like that hand.
Yeah.
And I love that it's reaching for the new birth of a baby, the baby's hand.
Yeah.
So
And the old hand, the old hand.
Old hand with wisdom, and I just really just love that. I just love everything about this card. So those are the two things that really stood out.
So how are you growing at your age? What are you up to here?
What am I up to? Well, what I have done is just changed my living room into a studio where I do. My daughter and my granddaughter are on here with us, and I do art. I do what I feel like. I just feel, if I feel like it, I do it. I have a dog who takes care of me. I take care of the dog.
Right.
So I've been doing a year-long project as a gift from my son and his family called Storyworth. I get a question every week, and I complete it this week, and it turns into a book, and it's been a great process. And just being in the pandemic, I have discovered more of my introverted part of me. So I think
I think that is so right on. I mean, I think this is the time in pandemic, like you, turn it into a studio, which
Yes.
is where I live in a garage, which is basically a studio. I love it. And I have cultivated the artist in me. And I had an art show, and I've never considered myself an artist. I got C in art and, in junior high. I'm a terrible artist, but I had an art show because I cultivated, because I have all this time to myself. It's amazing.
Your cards got me to do collage. It actually started with Brew's workshops, and then I started coming out to California.
Yeah.
Do collage. So thank you.
Thank you. But everybody should go back to their hobby. Go back to your hobby, whether it was, I'm making model airplanes or weaving or knitting or whatever. This is the time for that. And then if you're good at it, sell it. What the hell? I had one of my favorite clients. She's in the Zoom, Cinnamon. I don't know if people can see Cinnamon here. She gave me a bunch of Christmas gifts, and I started opening them, and I looked at the packaging. I said, this woman is a fabulous artist. This is art. This woman should be doing art. I don't know what the hell else she does, but she's an artist, and get on it. And I think we all have these incredible gifts and talents that we have not cultivated, but now is the time. Absolutely. If I could be an artist and have an art show in Atlanta, what the heck? Anybody could do anything, I guarantee. Thank you. Thank you for that, Carolyn. Yeah, that was brilliant. Okay, we're going to move on because of time. All right. So that's our top card. Now, from, again, from the spirit, the higher self, we go down to the head, the mental, the brain, how we think. And so for that, we're going to get the crystal cards, the crystals. Crystals at Voyager are mental. In Old Tarot, the mental cards are swords and blood. I looked at that one day. I said, that sucks. That's ridiculous. The last thing I need. Why don't we just have guns in there? What the hell? So I said, the second I got rid of swords, it was crystals. What a great, true symbol and real about how we think in our mind and the brain and so on. So one of the greatest things for 2021 is mental health. Because the second pandemic that's happening here is craziness. There is so much depression. There is so much anxiety. Suicides way up. Gun killings are way up. Institutionalization of people mentally is way up. We're going wacko, basically. And so how do we stay mentally sane and healthy? And I love these cards. This is psychology. This is psychology 1. And there's a lot of negative cards in here, which are great because they remind us of who to be or not to be. And we need that. This is mindfulness psychology, picking a card. So who is brave enough to pick one of these crystal cards? Somebody volunteer with your thumbs up or something like that. Who's going to do this one?
Okay, we have Ron Ike.
Ron.
Ron.
I know this guy, Ron. I know Ron.
Hi, James. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Where do you live, Ron? Where do you live?
I live in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area.
In the Bay Area, right. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'm in the Bay Area. All right. So, Ron, I'm putting my hands over the crystal cards, the mental cards, on how to be mentally healthy, clear, and creative in 2021. Because with mental health, we're naturally creative. We're imaginal geniuses. So how to do that? What's the roadmap for that? So, Ron, tell me when to stop, okay? And that'll be the card for all of us.
Stop.
Well, Ron picked it. Okay, Ron, you're responsible. Ron
Okay,
did it. Ron did it. Ron did it. And the card is, you did good, baby. You did great. Creativity.
Yay.
Creativity. I mean, you could have picked dullness or delusion or narrow-mindedness or all sorts of crap, negativity, confusion. Those are all great cards. Not really, but it's true. But you pick creativity. Wow. So this is saying, what's this telling you, Ron? Why did you pick this card? Maybe you can inform us, educate us about this one.
Well, I feel it's kind of like what you were saying. I feel like there's a lot of talents and abilities that maybe we're not exploring necessarily.
Right.
And, thinking about the Voyager being out there in space, exploring the space and going into the future, there's a need to let go of the analytical part of ourselves more and be focusing more on the expansion, the creative part of ourselves, and just diving into that.
Absolutely.
Bringing forth more of that into.
Beautiful. And, even back to I read a lot of different stuff. I'm kind of coming from the academic world. I read the Harvard Business Review, and these are really smart guys, right? And they say nobody can predict the future. The best way to look at the future is through your imagination. Come up with 5 different imaginal scenarios, but use your imagination, because imagination is magic. It's it. But a lot of people don't trust it. It's just my imagination. They don't really believe our imagination. Believe it and do it. Believe it and do it, and then we're growing. I mean, this reading so far has started out incredibly great. I mean, talk about growing, expanding, and creating. This is awesome. The Voyager Mantra, by the way, is the following: explore and discover. That's what we're picking up. Explore and discover, and then create and become, creativity, and then share, like we're doing here, share and evolve. This is an evolutionary tool, but a lot of it comes by following the roadmap and sharing it with each other like we are here. And by the way, if any of you have a New Year's resolution, like I'm going to stop doing that and I'm going to do more of that or whatever that is, the studies are amazing and true. If you don't tell anybody about your resolution, you're probably not going to do it. You're not going to do it. You'll lie to yourself. We lie to ourselves all the time. We know that. But if you have an accountability buddy where you absolutely share your resolutions and you're with each other, email or whatever, text or anyway, phone, once a week or whatever, you will probably follow your resolution. You will probably do it. And the statistics are stunning. I think it's a kind of a low level way of doing, persevering with something, but it works. So maybe you even see somebody in this group here, get their name, contact me or Linda, and we'll hook you up with somebody in this group and have an accountability buddy. I just can't tell you. The reason why I love to teach so much is it makes me, walk the talk. It makes me take my medicine that I'm trying to preach out there in the world. The best thing, if you want to teach something, is learn it. I mean, if you want to learn it or do it, is teach it. So that's why this king is incredible. Does anybody have a comment about their creativity or the process of being creative? Anybody want to raise their hand and share that with us?
If you do a thumbs up, because we've got a lot of hands raised for picking cards. So if you have a comment, do a little thumbs up for us. Icon down below is called reactions. Just click on that. Okay, I've got Laura P here. Laura.
All right, Laura, what about your creativity? Tell us.
It's my life's blood. It's how I wake up. It wakes me up in the morning. It's my way of being all day.
All day. Well, do you have a life other than, what are you creating, by the way?
Happy moments, good relationships at work, new processes, solutions. And then when I get home, I have a huge stash of color textiles and I make things.
Oh, wow. So it's a creative lifestyle you're leading.
Yeah. And
has that always been the case, or is that something?
No, I've been obsessed with work and now I'm not. And I'm much happier.
Yeah, much happier. I tell you, I'm with you. I wake up in the morning and it's like, wow, what can I write today? Or what kind of photograph can I take today? Or what kind of falling leaf can I photograph, or whatever? But it's always around the creativity. And
I love your Facebook pages. They're just awesome.
Thank you. Did you happen to see, by the way, my NASCAR race? I race the cards. It's a video, 4-minute video on my Facebook page, James Wanless. And it rained in LA the other day. Awesome. It's insane. It rained. So I run outside and I'm singing in the rain, walking in the rain. And I take 10 of the cards and I talk about them, I video them, and I have a race, NASCAR race. And I throw them in the water, the river coming down the road, down the hill that I live on, and to see which one wins. And I love this video. I mean, I've screwed up on this video a lot. I almost died last year doing the video. We almost got run over by a car, and I get wet and the camera gets screwed up and all that. But I want to tell you which card won the NASCAR race this year, the 3rd annual NASCAR race down the hill on Sunset Plaza Drive, where I live, and here's Suzanne Taylor's place, was the death card. Death won. And I thought, well, how fitting, because in the end, death wins. In the end, death wins. And so it's so funny because last year it was the turtle. The turtle won. I'm telling you, that is the funnest thing. Now, that's kind of my style of creativity. I'm a little bit of a kid that way. But I'll tell you, you start pushing the button of enthusiasm. We're exuberant animals. Trust the exuberance. Okay, cool. All right.
I did a seminar with you in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a reading on New Year's or my birthday every year since then. So it's over 30 years now. So I just wanted to say thank you. It's changed my life.
Really? Oh, cool. I like that. And by the way, New Year's Day is your birthday.
Yes.
If you ever want to do a real New Year's reading, do it on your birthday. That's it. This January 1, whatever the hell that is, I don't know, okay. Yeah, but your birthday is your new year. Okay. My birthday happens to be on Earth Day. So it's but Earth Day. And that's why I'm so much into nature and I follow nature and all the rest. So anyway, we're going to move on with our reading. We've been in the head. We're creative of mind. We're growing in spirit. And now we go to the heart, the emotions, which are the cups cards, only the cups, Ace through 10, of how to be emotionally healthy and happy. How to be happy and healthy emotionally. And this is going to be an interesting card. We got passion, we got fear, we got sorrow, disappointment, blah, blah, blah. Who is brave enough to want to volunteer to pick this card?
We have James Schultz.
James. Oh, and Susan. James and Susan. These are great. I'm not going to say old Voyagers because I don't like that word old, but James, they're seasoned Voyagers.
Okay.
Seasoned. Yeah.
Hold on, we're asking James to unmute himself if you can.
Okay, James.
There we go.
Okay. Oh my God. And by the way, James's wife Susan, she made Voyager candles, and here's one of the candles still left over. Balance. I love these little candles. They are so cool. Thank you, Susan.
They're
really
still
cool.
available and
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, okay, but let's get James's. Oh, we've got the little pendants, the necklace things.
Yes.
Oh, those are cool too.
Well, if anybody wants them, I make them all.
Susan Schultz. Okay. Yes. Well, we'll put that out. We'll get that going. Cool. Okay. Good. Great to see you. Okay, James, you're on the hot seat here for how to be.
Oh, I can feel it there.
How to be happy and healthy of the heart, of emotions. Right like, whoa.
Is it right here?
Well, yeah, I'm happy for you, but we're playing. This is the game. The game.
Okay, we're playing.
So, all right. So, James, tell me when to stop for our emotionally happy, healthy card. How to be happy and healthy. Oh, wow. James doesn't mess around. Okay. The card is, one of my favorite cards. You're going to love it, James. It's anger. Anger. Isn't that great? This is number 4. 4 is the number of the emperor. It was a guy card, and men get really pissed off. They don't like it. And when I made this, I had the best time. I took 4 glasses and threw them against rocks and stuff. I destroyed some stuff because that's what you're looking at here. You're looking at 4 cups, glasses, vases, whatever, being blown apart by an emperor upset about whatever. Here. So what do you say about this anger card, though, James? Why would you pick this card for us for the coming year? What about this?
Why? Because if you were talking about our mental health, and one of the issues I think that creates mental health problems is we bottle stuff up inside.
Right. Go get angry.
Go get angry.
Go take those crappy old glass jars and go smash them in your backyard and go clean it up.
Yeah. or
love that.
get a
Our
Nerf,
old place.
use Nerf balls or water balloons or something. Get it out or go scream.
I used
But
to go-
don't destroy somebody else in the process, right?
No.
I used to go play racquetball. I had such
Oh,
intense job.
racquetball. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just and every smash was one of my bosses. Like,
Go for a walk in nature.
Oh,
Well-
yeah, just yeah, but
Yes.
you're right, and
then
I don't know if Wowza's in our group here. Wowza is my expression coach. Wowza, wowza, and
yes.
wowza, and she taught me how to express the soul of emotion. So when I could go angry, get wild, like you're talking about, you guys, but it's not personal. It's not about.
Nope.
Doesn't have to be anybody. It's we have anger bottled up in us, like you were saying, Jane. It needs to be released.
Yes.
And if you don't release it, I think it's cancerous.
I do
think
too.
we got problems.
Absolutely.
We
If
got
you
problems.
don't let it out, it will do something bad to you.
Oh, absolutely. So
Or it
you
will come
guys,
out at the wrong time.
the next time you want to scream, scream.
Yeah.
Please.
Here.
Please.
And also but remember, all these negatives, like life has a night and a day, up and a downside. The upside of anger is incredible motivation and energy.
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, like one of my greatest motivators with the tarot world, with Voyager, is I don't particularly get along with the old tarot. I don't like sword, blood, and devils and Satans and whatever. And that drives me forward to do an evolved, new, and different Voyager tarot. So I've used that anger as a wonderful motivating force.
Yes.
That's there.
Yeah.
So I love this card. You did
good
really
card.
great. You did great.
And
Anybody
the
else
red.
have a comment about
Yes.
anger? Anybody else? Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Susan,
And remember, I'm a color therapist. So
color
red,
therapist.
Remember? Yes. So red is anger. We know that. But
Right.
it's also our blood. It pumps our blood.
Yep.
And it's also passion.
Yep. Passion.
So also passion. So,
But-
for all the negativity of red, it also has its opposite.
Ooh,
which is
wow.
passion.
Passion.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking energy.
Yes. And
So-
it's our root chakra.
Right.
And if you're not grounded
Ooh.
in that anger, where are you going to put it?
Yeah. Right. By the way. Yeah.
I think-
And if you follow your passion, a lot of times, this is a breakthrough card. This is
Yeah.
breaking out of the old structures, out of the old closets, out of old oppression. Break it up and bust out, break out, break through. And at this pandemic time of our lives, if you're not breaking out, busting out, you're never going to do it. This
where are you gonna
is
go?
the time.
We
The
have a
time.
comment from Marguerite. Marguerite.
Marguerite.
Spot.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring Marguerite on here real quick.
Okay, Marguerite. Wow. All right.
Hi,
Yeah.
James.
Hi.
Santa
Hi.
Fe, New Mexico here.
Oh, Santa Fe. Woo!
Yes.
Nice.
I discovered your deck by accident a couple of years ago.
Wow. By accident.
It,
Okay.
yeah, it just drew me. It drew
Right.
me. I was drawn to
Wow.
it.
Wow.
I recently, in the pandemic, found it in a box, and it helped me so much. I bought a deck and the book for my friend who
Uh-huh.
loves it. But I want to say, anger. Wow,
Yeah.
this is profound for me, because the last few weeks in particular, my anger has been triggered enormously by something pretty significant, and I couldn't let go of it.
Oh.
And I resourced all my tactics, and I couldn't let go of it. And I couldn't sleep, and I'm journaling. And
Wow.
and I'm talking to my sponsor, and I'm talking to a crisis line, because I literally
Wow.
could, and it was so powerful.
Uh-huh.
But it was around an abusive situation
Mm.
where it wasn't just me being taken advantage of, it was affecting my students that I worked with.
Wow.
And I think because it was affecting them, it gave me permission to feel my anger in a big way.
Mhm.
But it became this well, what do I do? What do I do? And my way through my answer was creativity.
Oh,
And
oh.
I that there is so much anger and mental health and all of this. And our way through this is creativity and growth. But the anger that blew up in me and I couldn't control, and I had to seek what it was and evaluate what it was. And I found out it was a lot of the boundaries, being crossed, and a lot of people walking out their mouth, but not walking their talk, not owning their actions. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be involved in that anymore. I no longer want to stay in these situations that create this. I'm going to choose creativity and it made me realize that at my true essence, I'm an artist.
Oh, wow. You found yourself. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. I love it. Creativity is therapy. It's therapy. You found it. Thank you for sharing. That is way cool. Okay. Thank you, Marguerite. All right, we're going to move on to the body. We're going to the body here. Physical. This is kind of the legs in a way. Lower chakra stuff. Okay. The body. So in this coming year, how to be healthy, how to have energy, how to be robust. Let's not get sick. Let's stay safe and be healthy. How to do that? What's the roadmap for how to do that? So I have the 10 worlds cards, ace through 10 of worlds here on how to be healthy. Who wants to volunteer for this one? Who's our doctor here?
Ani La has joined us, and Ani La has a magnificent background here. We love that. 2021.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You got it going on. All right, Ani, this is the ace through 10 of worlds, which give us the 10 steps to how to be a healthy person. So I put them out here on the desk. So tell me now, as I close my eyes, I go into my quintessential self. Tell me when to stop.
No.
Okay. I did get a card. I barely got a card. Anila is, interesting. Reflection. This is the two of worlds. Two of worlds. There's two moons in this card. Two moons. It's very cool. It's a winter card. It's a winter card. It's a priestess card, cool blue. And the priestess is the wise woman and associated with the moon. Now, it's one of the more beautiful cards, the white wolf and all that. But this is a card that's telling us about rest. This is a card about sleep. This is not a go out and run around, go crazy card, which to me is my formula. If you're not moving your body, you're not in your body, and that's a problem for everything, mind, spirit, and so on. But why does anybody, or Anila, do you have a reason why you would pick this reflection, time out, rest, sleep, whatever, meditate kind of card? Yeah.
I think, we all went through a lot in 2020. And now we really, as we're starting to come out, we need to reflect within ourselves. First of all, recuperate, take a rest, and then really go deep inside to see what we then eventually want to do with what we have. So it's like really going inside to see, what do I do now? After, because everything has changed in 2021.
Yeah, so it's kind of like time out, go within, and not stress out there, right? But what about the body? Doesn't the body just kind of decay if it just sits around watching TV, Netflix, or whatever? Or that's not it?
I don't think it means to not do anything physically.
Okay.
But really just kind of emotionally and physically take it a little bit easier. Maybe go for a slower walk and maybe
nice.
Do some spa therapy.
Right. Nice.
the more quieter forms of taking care of ourselves, and also reflect, what do I want to do nutritionally? What do I really do to take care of myself?
Ooh, good one. Because, let's stop some of this processed food we're eating. By the way, are you a Tibetan Buddhist nun?
I am.
Aha. I got you. I mean, I looked at Anila, I looked at her hairstyle, and I looked at the color of her clothes, and I'm saying, you know, I hung out in a Tibetan Buddhist monastery in Nepal, and it changed my life. So I get the vibe here. And you got it. Thank you for joining in. But you know, for a Buddhist monk, nun, this is an incredible meditation card.
Yes.
You know, and wow, I had hepatitis in the 70s when I was in Nepal, went to a monastery outside Kathmandu, Kopan, and did all the Buddha gold light meditations, changed my life, and got rid of hepatitis. I never took any medicine, no medication, just did the gold light meditations and expunged all the dark stuff, whatever, brought in the light. And in 1 month, in 30 days, I was healed.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, this is a great meditation story for fixing our bodies, even, you know, which I don't think most people think about with meditation, but it works, you know.
Oh, rest. Meditation, rest, just coming in, getting quieter, and then adjust our lives accordingly.
Right. Because I get migraines now. So I sit down every day, I meditate, and I let my headache, my migraine go crazy. And then when I'm done, I'm cool, I'm fine. I allow it to happen. Be Vipassana style, just watch it. And boy, it is such a healing force. Wow, this is not the card I would have expected. But Anila, I expect it now, knowing who you are. That's cool. That's great. Okay, thank you. So these are our 4 cards of mind, heart, body, and spirit. And do we see any patterns here? We have a 3, a 4, a 10, and a 2. And they're all they're all a little bit different. There's no one particular pattern that we've seen so far. Fine. But those are the first 4 cards of the inner self, wholeness. So then, after we look at wholeness, then we move on in Voyager style to oneness, wholeness, oneness, and then we'll eventually go to nowness. How do you win anything? W-O-N, one, it's wholeness, oneness, and nowness. So now we're into oneness. And okay, so oneness, back to our pattern here, the layout. Down here are the real legs. And on this one leg, we stand on the earth, home. And this represents one with our home, our living situation, which a lot of us are not. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, said this, and I totally believe it. I love it. He said, the most important thing in life that you could take care of is to be at home, at home. If you're living in a place or a home that's not you, you have problems. You're dislocated. You're screwed up, basically. And I totally buy that. Because a lot of people end up living somewhere. They didn't really plan on that. They don't particularly like it, but it works because they make money there, they work there. But that is a waste. That's a waste of energy here. So how to be one with your living situation. Now, usually we use all the Voyager cards, but since our ultimate home is Mother Earth, this hydrosphere that we live on here, Earth, I'm going to go into my nature cards. The sustain cards, this is green leaf. These are 101 nature cards on how to be totally connected with nature to actually manifest, be your own nature that is nature, because we are so connected. So what does Mother Nature want to tell us about what part of nature to connect with to be more at home in this natural environment, which a lot of us are not? That more and more urbanization happening, less trees. A lot of people, we're at war with nature. A lot of people, nature? Oh, we just want to rape nature. Let's drill some more holes in there. And who cares about climate change, you know, whatever. Yeah, right. Well, you know, nature bats last. Nature bats last. And if we don't get it, we're dead. Because once it goes bad, nature bats last. Game's over. Humans are over. So my whole thing is about the new human. The future human is an eco-sapien. Homo sapien, okay, I don't particularly like that Homo sapien word that much. Eco-sapien, I love. And that's where I'm going here. But now, who wants in our group to pick this card? On what part of nature to be more connected to be more at home in our Mother Earth home? Who wants to pick the card on this one?
Okay, we have Tanya M.
Really? Tanya M?
Tanya M.
All right, Tanya M. Where are you from?
San Francisco.
San Fran, SFO?
Yep.
Oh, wow. What part of the city?
I live out in the Avenues. I'm actually out in Golden Gate Park right now.
Oh, you're in the park, in Golden Gate Park?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the coolest places ever. I mean, a lot of us go back to the 60s in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. I mean, the Grateful Dead and oh my God. Okay. Enough of that. All right. So I've got I got probably 200 cards here. So what part of nature, are you actually in the park now? Really?
I'm actually in the park right now. Can you see it?
Oh, so to be in nature, picking a nature card is the best.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So tell me, oh, there you are. Look at her. She's actually out in the trees. Oh my God.
I know that
is so cool. Thank you so much. God, you're yeah. All right. So tell me when to stop. Okay. Tell me when to stop.
Okay, I will.
Stop right there. Okay. I'm on the far right corner, the circle of this card. Oh, wow. I've got the reef and reef fish. This is called community. It's about fish and about the beautiful fish on the beautiful reefs that we know here. It's a tropical fish card. And, you know, even though Earth is mostly an ocean planet, we don't realize this. We're so disconnected from nature that 94% of all life on Earth lives in the ocean. 94%, live in the ocean. And so, but we're not that connected to ocean. We don't even know what's down there. We know what's up in the moon. We know what's on Mars. We know in deep space, but we don't even know what's below us and really where we come from. It's a tragedy, really. So why do we get these beautiful, tropical, wonderful fish, Tanya? Why would you pick that card for us? Why, I wonder?
I don't, well, know.
Any idea, any intuition, anything about anything there?
Water is life. I mean, water is life. There's no life without water.
I think you are absolutely correct. And I think you're more correct than we would think, because we just ignore the water. We ignore the ocean. We really do. And by the way, the reefs are dying at an insane rate. The reefs are just going for crap here because of everything that we're doing. But this is saying, get fish-like. Come on, jump in the ocean. and my action on New Year's Day, which is what, tomorrow, or the next tomorrow it's New Year's Day is Saturday. Is that right? Yeah. I'm going to the ocean because I live near the Pacific Ocean, and I'll jump in. And when you jump in the ocean, cold, salt water, whoa, you are baptized. It's a baptism, right? An eco-baptism of new life. You are healed, you are energized, you are turned on. So going for a swim in the river or wherever, get into the ocean, get into the water, and think like a fish. I mean, wow, the fish is pretty. Does anybody here have another different take on this particular card? Again, this is what to reconnect with. Reconnect with Earth as an ocean. It's a hydrosphere. We are ocean people. You know, river people, lake people. Come on, get
Okay.
into it. Yes.
Yes, I have something, because the main thing is, like you're talking about, the whole planet is primarily an ocean planet, but the word community is the word that I think that really is mattering here. We've had 2020. I mean, what we're moving into for the new year is about community. We've got to really move on community. That's what I feel.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
It's community. That's the word I'm picking up from all of this, is that it's the fish, it's the ocean, yes, but it's really about how can we really begin to rebuild our community, because it's been horrible, you know. That's what I got to say. Okay.
I love it. By the way, you guys, this is Julie King. She's the one that got me to Brevard and forced me, not really, to make that white squirrel deck. Thank you, Julie. And Julie is the one who was with me way back in Monterey, back in the early 80s. And we put out the Voyager. We were the publishers of the Voyager deck with Julie King. That's there. So thank you forever, Julie, for that. And but I love this idea. Community, you know, people talk about money and we talk about economy and all of that, but it's really about humanity and community. You know, people say it's the economy stupid. Hey, we're not getting it. It is about community here. So you're absolutely right. So what could you do in 2021 to create more a sense of community in your community? And again, the nature knows how to be. I mean, you look at all the variety of fish and octopus and whatever, and they all get along. It's an ecology. We have to learn how to get along. Thank you, Julie, for bringing that up. Wow. So what would be the one action you would take to live this truth out of community, though? Again, this is a roadmap. The reading, if you're going to be true to the map, it's come up with a doable action that you would take on all of these cards, or at least one of these cards. And to build community would be as awesome as it gets. You know, absolutely. Anybody else have something they want to say about this? Thank you, Julie. This was great. Anybody else? Who's that?
Susan.
Okay, Susan. Yeah.
Water, you know, okay, the water is our emotional body too.
Right.
So if we can bring our emotions into check that anger.
Yep.
And go into, you know, kind of reflective loving, reflective liking.
Right.
How are you doing? Can I help? Is there something I can help you? If you have older people in your community like we do, you know, I check on them. I knock on their window and I check on them.
Wow. And the one thing I've learned in that vein, Susan, is that every day now, and this is changing my life, I could tell, the first thing I do in the morning is drink a big thing of water. Forget food, forget coffee.
Right.
Water.
Yeah, water. Yes. We need.
Yep. That's the message. That is the message. A lot more water than you think you probably should be drinking, and particularly with age, because with age we dry out. Like my skin, like, oh my God, ooh, it's so dry. Well, drink water, dude. You know, come on. A lot more water than you think, and not poisonous water, by the way, of course. Okay, we got to move on. We're moving on. Okay, thanks, Susan. Yeah, a great one. All right, now we're going to, according to our layout, we're going to the other leg. The other leg that we stand on is actually our work. The work we're doing in the world, how we're exchanging our genius for other people's needs and creating enough prosperity and money, et cetera, to pay the bills and buy the good food and so on and so forth. So it's our work. So what about your work in 2021? What's the most, according to Voyager, what's the best way to ensure that you're working the right kind of work in the right kind of way, and you'll be successful? Success. And so for this work situation, we're not using the whole deck for this one. I am taking the 22 major cards. These are personality types, and these are all life principles also. And if they tell us how to behave, even professionally, Like if you get the Magician, it's about marketing. If you get the Lovers, it's about team partnering, collaborating. If you get the Hermit, it's about harvesting yourself. If you get the Fortune, it's maybe taking a flyer in the market or whatever. That's a Fortune card. Each of these cards relate to how we work in the world. So who wants to be brave enough to pick this card here? Who wants to put your thumb up for this one? Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Where are you from?
Originally from Japan, but I lived in New York City for most of my life.
Oh, okay.
Now I moved to Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's a lot of Bay Area types. So I've got the 22 personality types and professional functions, actually. And a lot of us work for ourselves. If you work for yourself, which I totally believe in, it's called you-biz. You are the business. You are the brand. You are the boss. You are the bounty. Self-harvest, self-harvest, self-harvest. How to do that? These 22 personality types give us the kinds of functions that we have to play out if we're doing our own business. And okay, but that's the way to grow. One of the best ways to grow yourself, expand yourself, is have your own business, because you got to do it all. Okay, so tell me when to stop for our business, our successful business in 2021. Stop. Okay, I heard that. We have a card way down in the middle at the bottom here. Oh, I love it. You did so great. Maybe you win a prize. I don't know, maybe not. Like what kind of prize anyway? The Magician, the Magician, the Magician, number one. And to me, the Magician, along with the Priestess, are the two most important archetypes, along with the Fool Child. Well, along with the Empress. Okay, all right, I can stop there. But the Magician is the ultimate creator. Okay, fine. But then work-wise, not only is the Magician the great inventor, because magic of imagination, I imagine it and I make it. That's magic. It's out of nothing comes something. Because of our imagination, we believe it, we see it, we feel it, and we do it. So that's the Magician right there. But once we make it, the Magician in us comes along and says, well, now I got to sell it. Oh my God, nobody knows. Oh no, nobody knows I made this deck or wrote this book or did whatever, or did this weaving or anything. Now I've got to market it. And the Magician is a genius at knowing how to sell the Magician is the ultimate used car salesman. You know, that used car salesman who can sell you a piece of crap. It's like, oh, this is a great car. And then you roll out of there and it breaks down the next day. But that's kind of, the Magician could be that way. He's not exactly the most moral cat at all, but really knows how to market. And we all need that marketing. And for those of us who are in business for ourselves, we're not usually very good at that. It's hard to sell yourself. I can't get on the phone and call, Apple and say, Apple, there's this great corporate shaman who's fabulous and you'll love him. And oh, by the way, it's me. I just can't do that very well. And none of us can. So we have to activate that inner salesperson, the marketing person. But first of all, we have to make it and then sell it, market it. Wow. This is, if we could just do this professionally, we're good to go. We're good to go. I mean, this is magic. Wow. And mag goes back to the root word M-A-G, which means power. It's the power to make, to create, to manifest, and then move the merchandise. Move the merchandise. Woo! And some of you might love my, I have a Tarot for Business book, Strategic Intuition for the 21st Century. Each of these cards is defined in terms of business and money and all the rest. It's really cool. And I have a few copies left. And if anybody wants one, I might just send it along for free, probably. That's me. Okay. So anybody else, do you have anything you want to tell us about this, Mina? Or anybody else have something? What do you say, Mina?
So I picked this card because I am terrible business person. I just can't can't make my business and I retired. And I am so happy I don't have to work. So the money is my issue all my life. I can't make anything. I'm a creative person. I'm an artist, but selling is the worst. That's why I think I know that.
Yeah. Well, I get it. Well, I think we're all kind of sort of in the same boat. And I must say my philosophy of business and sales is keep showing up and somebody will notice. Like I keep going to doing a retreat in Hawaii, and eventually a Japanese person came to my Hawaii retreat and said, "Oh, we're taking you to Japan." I showed up, did my best, let go, and somebody will notice you. Yeah, well, but like Linda Rogalski, who's running this Zoom, out of nowhere, I never knew her. She read my Littlestone book, called me up the next day and said, hey, let's get this book published. And now she's doing so much of my publicity work, my marketing work and all that. It's because she knows how to do it and because I kept showing up. But I love what you say. It's not easy. We just have to put our self-doubt on hold and just say, I am great. My work is fabulous. You're hot stuff. Your art is incredible. Sell the hell out of it and have fun. Oh my God. Does anybody else have any little pieces of advice about how to market your own work here? Anybody here? Anybody? Because it's not easy. I think we all know that. Here, anybody have a comment about this? But the thing is, if we're going to be of service to the world, we got to move the merchandise. We got to get it out there. So come on, let's not be so bashful and I don't know if it's any good and all this kind of crap. Let it go. Put on a new mask. Like you're a genius, and you are. We are geniuses. Let's sell it. Okay. Anybody else have a comment on this one? Yeah. I mean, this is going to be true for all of us, and it's always going to be true forever for all of us. But remember, the fortune formula is follow the 4 aces in Voyager. The Ace of Wands, illumination, is imagine. See your product, see it, imagine. The heart, Ace of Cups, ecstasy, feel it. I love it. I want it. Oh God, it turns me on. Feel it, feel it, feel it. And then Ace of Crystals, brilliance, believe it, believe it, believe it. If you don't believe it, forget it. Ain't going to happen. Believe it. And then Ace of Worlds, which is physical, do it, do it, do it. See it, feel it, believe it, and do it. And see it and feel it and believe it and do it. It's a dance. And if you do that all the time, repeat it and repeat it, expect success. Expect success. And that is the X factor, is when you keep doing this little dance, the magician dance manifestation, you should expect to be success, because that is the truth. And that is an amazing, wild element to success. And people don't really buy into that. Expect it, expect it, expect it. Hey, cool. Thank you. Good card. Okay. So those are our legs. Now, God, we got half an hour to go. Whoa. We're going to go on to relationships. Uh-oh. We love relationships, because I want to live a long life. I read all the longevity studies. I read them all. And they all say the same thing. They all come down to the very same thing. The most critical thing to have a long life and a well life, a happy life, a holy life, a healthy life, a wealthy life, but a long life is friends. More than anything else, more than food, more than money, more than exercise, more than all of these things, which are necessary, obviously, but people, friends, friends, friends. And that's why a lot of these loners are crazy. They're crazy. And they become bombers and this is and that's, and they're nuts. They're wacko because they don't have friends. They're lonely people, broken hearts, break people up. And it's obviously so. We are going to pick a card on how to enhance and make all relationships, from work relationships to casual relationship to a frenemy on social media, to your lover, to your wife, husband, kids, family, dog. Well, let's not go to pets. Let's go to people. Okay, fine. So we are going to pick a card from Voyager, and we're going to pick one of the family cards. In Voyager, there's 16 family cards. There's sages, the grandmother, grandfather in us. There's a man, the masculine in us, the feminine, the woman in us, and the child in us. So each of us have an we have 3 generations within ourselves. And when you look at these family cards, they're all real people. So when you pick one of these cards, it's about you connecting with that person in you, and then also being able to connect with people outside in the world who have similarities to this particular card that you might have picked. I hope that makes sense. So good relationships start in here with a relationship with all of yourself here. So who wants to pick this card? One of these 16 family cards. You know, in old tarot, these are kings and queens. I said off with their heads. I don't like royalty. I think it's a ridiculous political system. Not that democracy is a hell of a lot better these days, but you know, that's another statement. But who wants to pick one of these cards? Who's up for this one?
We have Marianne O'Rourke. Marianne, please unmute yourself.
Marianne O'Rourke. Where are you from, Marianne O'Rourke?
South Florida.
Where Florida? South Florida?
Yeah, we met at the Crystal Garden.
Oh, really? At the Crystal Garden?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that?
Well, it's been a few years.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, God, I've worked a lot in Florida, and the Crystal Garden is one of those gemstone kinds of places. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Okay. I worked through a hurricane once at the Crystal Garden.
That's right. I think I saw you that year.
That hurricane didn't do a lot, but it was a lot of water. But we worked through the hurricane. Yeah, that was incredible. I never did that before. Okay, so Marianne, you're going to pick a card for all of us on how to enhance our relationship life, our friends. Okay, so tell me when to stop. Okay.
Stop.
Oh, right there. Whoa. Whoa. This is a really wonderful card. It's the sage. The sage is the sage, the grand master in us, the old soul, the grandmother, the grandfather in us, the person who's been around the block a few times, this life and maybe previous lives. And the sage of wands is the seer, who is the great wizard, the great healer, the great seer, the great coach, the great counselor, the great therapist, the great Voyager reader, all of that kind of stuff. So what is this saying? This is saying to enhance your relationships with other people, totally recognize the sage in you. Recognize and acknowledge your sagacity, your wisdom that you have, and don't put it down. You know, we are a product of eons and eons of evolution, and we do know. And once you've kind of got into relating to this aspect of you, you could see the sage in other people, even idiots that we think are idiots. You know, like, okay, I am going to recognize your own sageness, your own wisdom within you. And this is a great way to get through some of our barriers when we think this guy's silly or this woman's ridiculous or whatever, and really see their goodness and their wisdom within that. And I think that is a way of real bonding, of really coming together. What do you think about that, Marianne? Do you have any ideas or thoughts about it?
Well, I think that's a lot of what we're being tested on during this pandemic, is our ability to put ourselves out there in our wisdom and to acknowledge that in other people, because it's because of the what all the cards are saying, the togetherness, the community is what we have to build. And we're being more forced to do that than we ever have before, because of the distancing that is being forced on us. It's actually making us draw closer and deeper with people. I think.
Oh, absolutely. And for those of you who do read Voyager cards or like Voyager, get out there and start doing readings with people. You will empower people. You don't have to know everything. Forget about memorizing. Forget it. Don't try and do that. It's an intuition deck. And people need this roadmap. It's an identity psychology where people can see who they are finally. And I'll tell you, like Linda was saying in the beginning of this thing, Zoom, I'm doing a teachable course, and this is 10 videos or 8 video, whatever number of videos about how to read these cards. And all you have to do is that, and you just get out there and start doing it. Because you have enough wisdom, and you can read cards, because if it says creativity, it's about creativity, and we know how to relate. So if you want to really do some good in the world and make connections with people and empower people and get them through the pandemic, cards are awesome. They're an incredible, and you can do it. Believe in your wisdom. So come on, Marianne. I'm expecting this, and report back. Okay.
All
report back. I'd love that. Anybody else have a comment about this? Anybody else have a comment?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, my artist who gave me so many gifts. Like, wow. Yeah. Go for it.
Well, funny enough, my website is Sincere, SEER. So I use that card in my everyday. That's my second.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
But what I was thinking was, when you were speaking about, or when the other woman was speaking about the seer and you were talking back about it, I was thinking the fact, if you look back at the cards that we've gotten, creativity, community, emotion, all that other such, it all kind of combines that the community of the spiritual community is kind of uprising. It's kind of all coming to the forefront, that really touching into your own sage and running into other sages like yourself that are just discovering their sageness, if you will.
Yeah, sageness. I like that word. And yeah, I think we're creating new kinds of communities. You're absolutely right. Now that I think about that, that's really good. That's really good. And I'm kind of trying to build a team Voyager, a Voyager community and consciousness, and that's what we need to do. And wow, that is so beautiful. That's really motivating for me, for sure. But I mean, just like to create a circle, a women's circle or whatever circle, get together and talk about whatever, and maybe even pick a card. How cool would that be? Well,
but the other thing about the seer itself, and that's why I always kind of pride myself as not a reader, I'm a seer, because I look at the Voyager, that's the deck I use, and I look at the card, and the card will dictate to me what the answer is, or what what it is, whatever comes up. I don't read it for what I know it to be. I look at the picture and whatever jumps out. And I feel at this point, if this card is showing up in relationships, it's kind of saying, be aware of what your surrounding is. Pay attention to what's around you.
The world is a tarot.
It is.
The world is, if you don't have a deck and you want a symbol, a sign, pick whatever's around you that attracts your eye, and just intuitively, what does that tell me? It's that simple. Of course, Voyager has just about everything but the kitchen sink in here. Sure. But but you're absolutely correct about that. Wow, I love that whole concept. Sageness. Beautiful. Thanks, you guys. Okay, we're moving on. We got to move on. So that was the left arm, which is the feminine receiving people into my life and reaching out to them, obviously. But the right arm, theoretically, symbolically, is what we put out to the world, our contribution to the world, and our oneness with the world. We've been oneness with environment, oneness with our work, oneness with friends and people, now oneness with the world that we're interacting with. And what are we giving to the world? What are we sharing? What are we contributing to the world? What's our legacy? What is your legacy? Whoa. So this is going to be an interesting card. So what I've done is all the rest of the entire deck I'm putting together, and going to shuffle this up. And I want one person who's going to pick a card for this Voyager group, this Voyager team Voyager, this Voyager quintessence, constellation 88 or whatever you want to call it. So who wants to pick this card for our legacy, what we're giving forth to the world? Who wants to do that?
We've got Louise on the line. Louise, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Here we go.
Louise, let me see Louise. Can I see Louise?
Yep,
where are you from, Louise?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Another Bostonian. Oh my gosh. Really, how's the weather there in Boston, by the way?
A little chilly.
Little chilly, no doubt. Okay, so this is a big one. Don't screw it up, okay? All right. So tell me when to stop. I have the whole deck here. Tell me when to stop. It's our contribution to the world, our legacy, your legacy. Mi legacy is tu legacy. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Ah, right there. You're sure? Okay, I got it. Oh my God, this is cool. All right. I got to back up a little bit on this one. When I talk about nowness, we have wholeness, oneness, and now nowness is relevant to today's world. The old tarots are old roadmaps, and go back in the Middle Ages, fine, be my guest. But this is about today in today's world. And actually, what's cool is when you take a look at 2021, just add those numbers together. A real simple little numerology, really simple. 2021 is 5. So the 5 card is in play for 2021, and that's the Hiero font. Hiero, to reveal, font, the light. The Hiero font in Voyager is the Buddha, not the Pope, like in old decks, but it's the revealer of the light, the ultimate teacher. Back to the sage, back to that sage of wands that we picked, the seer before, because that's the Hiero font. So we picked, or you picked, a number 5 card. So it's appropriate for now. This is a now card, and it's called setback. Setback. I love this card. And people think I'm kind of nuts. Get over it, because there is no success without setback. One step back, we all gonna have setbacks to see and go 2 steps ahead and 2,000 steps ahead. I mean, strategic retreat is because every setback has an opportunity in it. Absolutely, irrevocably in it. So maybe you have to step back, sit back, step back, and these earths represent new seeds of new opportunities that are there. So, and I think that's actually, might be my legacy with Voyager, because I am so all over this card and this concept that setback is actually a step back to go 2 steps ahead. It is the opportunity card in the deck. You know, when Ken and I took 4 years to make Voyager deck, 4 years to make the deck. We bought a suit, I bought a tie, we went to New York City where the publishers were way back in 84, 85. None of them liked it. None of them wanted to publish Voyager. That's a serious setback. So we flew back to San Francisco from the Bay Area. That's setback, but I didn't buy it. I kept showing the cards. One day a woman called me, said the next day, I dreamed about your cards all night long. I have a lot of money. Can I give it to you to publish this deck? I'm like, what's your name again? You know, I was like, I think that's a good idea. The best thing that could have ever happened was the publisher didn't like it. Good. Now I'm in charge of that by far. And since then, 250,000 of Voyagers have been sold around the world for 35 years, and nobody ever wanted to touch it. That is a great success story that comes out of setback. And all the cancer I had in the last couple of years, they've changed my life, from drinking water to what I do for exercise and to my meditations, all of that because of cancer. And because of hepatitis, I got into the spiritual path. Everything disastrous in my life has been the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. That's this card. Does anybody else have an interesting setback into success story? Setback into comeback? Now, also, by the way, not today, but tomorrow, I am going to put these cards together in this layout. You have this layout, so you can do this reading by yourself, of course, your own reading. But I'm going to put these cards together, take a photograph of it, and analyze it. I love seeing patterns to readings. And where am I going to put this pattern? Where am I going to put this reading? I'm going to put it up on every freaking Facebook I have, and including JamesWanlessOracle.com. I'll put it up on the website. I'll put it on Voyager Tarot Facebook page, which is a good Facebook page, Voyager Tarot. You got to become a member of it. My personal, my professional. So I am going to be reviewing this reading. So if you don't kind of get it now, even though we're recording this, This is going to be recorded. Well, you can see it probably maybe on the 1st or whenever. You can see what the cards were again, and my analysis or review of it. Okay. All right. So where were we here? Yeah.
We have about 15 or 10 minutes left, James.
Okay. Okay. But did anybody want to contribute to the setback card? Anybody have anything to say about that one? I love this card. I mean, setback, like pandemic. I mean, I am so lonely and alone. I live alone in my garage studio. Oh my God, I am so happy. I've turned aloneness into wholeness. I've gotten into my art as an artist. I've developed more parts of me never would have happened had I kept traveling around the world and teaching Voyager classes. This has forced me to get back into me and to develop and grow parts of me that never would have happened. Setback equals opportunity and success. Absolutely. Cool. Okay. Are we done with that? We can move on. What do you think?
We are.
Okay.
If you want it really quickly, James, we had a poll that we started earlier in, and we do have the results for that poll. If you want to talk about that real quick.
Okay, so I am going to do a time capsule, like the Voyager spacecraft has the gold record about Earth out in space, deep space, 12 billion miles away so far. It's still going. I'm going to bury Voyager stuff, my hat, the Voyager cards, and other Voyager memorabilia and books and whatever. But the poll question was where to bury it. And Linda, do you have the results of that? Wow. Oh, that is so interesting. Woo. This is world domination. I mean, not, well, that's not exactly the right thing, but we have consensus on this.
We do.
You?
That's a pretty strong number there. That's
mountaintop. And actually, a friend of mine who climbed Mount Everest, who is a Voyager and a real Little Stone aficionado. He loves the Little Stone book and sent me a Little Stone painted up and all that. He's an Everest climber. Now, I don't think he's going back to Everest, but that would not be a bad place. You know? Someplace like that. So thank you all for participating in that poll. And the forest and the beach did good. The jungle did crap. Nobody liked the jungle. Wow. That's so interesting. What's wrong with the jungle, you guys? Whoa. Jungles are scary. Jungles are beyond scary.
I think maybe I thought you were going to go out into the jungle, James, and nobody wants you to have to do that. So
I'll go to the jungle.
Going easy on you there. They thought maybe a mountaintop is easier for you than a jungle. So. Well,
that's always true because jungles have weird animals.
We're glad you're going. We're glad you're going to the mountains and not the jungle, James.
Oh, come on. Anyway, all right. So this next card, we have 2 cards to go. We're going to do it fast from the entire deck. The next card is, because it's a Hierophant teaching/learning year. What are you supposed to learn in this coming year? Because if you're learning, you're growing. And if you're growing, you're expanding. If you're expanding, you're evolving. You're living because of learning. So who wants to pick a card on what to learn this coming year? Who wants to pick that card?
Luann.
It's Luann. Where's Luann?
Hi.
Here she comes. Can you hear it? Can you say something, Luann?
Yeah, I can. I unmuted. Can you hear me?
There we go. Hello there. Welcome.
Where are you from?
In Florida.
Florida. What part of Florida?
I'm on Hutchinson Island, which is sort of halfway between Vero Beach and West Palm.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Near Mar-a-Lago or whatever. Okay.
A little bit north of that.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. So pick a card of what we're meant to be learning. So tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there. Okay. This is her card for all of us. Commencement, 4 of Worlds. It's an Emperor card, a lot like Anger, but not. This is called Commencement. It's a spring card, like bust out. This is a card of just start it. Get going. Procrastinate. Just do it. And learn how to just do it and not be caught up in your perfectionist, silly idea. here. Go wabi sabi. Just start, jump and do it. And in making mistakes, that's how we learn. And that's how we do get good at whatever we get at here. So this is a great, you picked a tremendous action card. So what would you guys like to start? Do it this year. This is not waiting around thinking about it any longer. We're bored with that. We're tired of that crap. You know, life is moving too fast. So just start it and see what happens. What an incredible card. So it's learning how to start. This is spring. Spring forth, spring out. Don't think, just do. Wow, thank you for that. Whoa, this is a really dynamic reading. We have growth, we have setback, we have commencement, we have creativity, we got anger. This is not like a safe little conservative reading so far. No, this is like bust out. Woo! You know, like me trying to do a Zoom with 150 people or whatever is insane. Like, just do it, dude. Just start it. We'll see what happens. Come on, man. Okay, so that's now the final card. This is the fortune card. So if, even Evan, there's Evan. Here's Evan. Yeah, Evan from, I think, Boston area, right? Massachusetts, or New York City. I'm sorry. New York. Okay, so anyway, this last card is if you follow or when you follow the map, this roadmap that we're building here, the Voyager roadmap to 2021, what is the opportunity, the reward, the outcome that comes to you out of nowhere? What, you know, like this, a lot of people would say this is fortune telling. What's the future? It's not about that. It's what the opportunity that's going to arise for you by following the map. So who wants to pick this card, the opportunity card?
Okay, we have Sand.
Sand, S-A-N-D. Are you from Florida, Sand? Or are you?
I am from Atlanta, Georgia. And
yeah,
through Dr. Coleman.
Oh, Will. Oh, my favorite guy, the first person ever passed the Voyager certification course, a Presbyterian minister, an African American, great buddy of mine, divinity dude, you know, and all that stuff. He does incredible classes online, and wow, so you know Will. So I asked Will, I said, Will, why did you do Voyager? Well, I mean, there's a lot of other decks out there, and he's a PhD. I mean, he's a doctorate of divinity and all that stuff. He's a really smart dude. And he said it was the first deck I ever saw any black people in it. You know, like, whoa, vindicated, because that was my idea. I want to put yellow people, blue people, brown people, white, whatever, in this thing. It's a multiracial, multi-ethnic, multicultural tarot. Up until the time Voyager came out, it was all white people from Europe. To me, that is not the world. I am so sorry. I love Western Europe, but that is only Western Europe. I love Asia. I love Africa. I love all these places, and we're going to shove it in the Voyager because this is truly a global roadmap, universal to the Earth experience. So, Sam.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Sam. So you're going to pick a card on the opportunity we all have by following the map. Don't make a mistake, okay? Please. All right. Stop. Okay, Sand, everybody, Sand. Sand did it. Oh! This, Sand, you did beautiful. This is a gorgeous, I love this. One of my favorite cards by far. The Three of Worlds, Nurturing. This is a growth card. This is a fruition card. This is a harvest card. This is cultivating yourself, creating community. I mean, this is mothering, parenting, healing, taking care of yourself, others, and the world. There's 3 Venus planets in here somewhere. If you can find them, Venus is a strange little planet. But whatever, thank you. This is an awesome final card, Sand.
Thank you so much.
You cannot do better. Is there anything that you get out of this particular card? Nurturing. It's an Empress card. It's based on the qualities of number 3 Empress. It's a number 3 card. Yeah.
Well, I am an empath and I am an artist. a fine artist. I do painting.
Wow.
I do graphic design. And I wanted to tell you, you were kind of honing on the name of my business. The name of my business is Sand Design It.
Sand Design It.
Yeah, you were saying Sand did it, Sand did it. I was like, oh my God, how appropriate.
Oh my God. God, there's a lot of artists in this group. A lot of artists. And Harriet. Hi, Harriet. Hi. Good to see you. And I love Atlanta. Atlanta is one of my favorite places to visit. And, you know, I had my art show in Atlanta a couple of months ago, which was mind-blowing for me. So cool. But thank you for this culmination reading. This is just the best. I love you guys. We're done. We did it in 2 hours. We did the roadmap, the Voyager roadmap for 2021. And like I say, I'm going to do a little production around this and post it everywhere. And you probably get an email about it. And we'll put this, I think, Linda, on YouTube or somewhere, right?
Yep. We'll put it on YouTube and we will send out the links to everyone who attended today.
You couldn't have been better. The cards were cool. We did it. We got through it. I am absolutely thrilled. So you guys are great. You're great Voyagers. You are Voyagers. You're part of Team Voyager. You're in the constellation, the Voyager constellation. Thank you so much. Anything else we need to say, Linda?
Yes, before we all go, I'm going to unmute everyone at the same time if you want to unmute yourself. And we're just going to all say Happy New Year to each other. So,
wow.
Unmute. Go ahead and unmute. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Anybody take a picture? Take a picture. Wow, man. Like, oh my God. It's so great. We're going to be happy. Wow.
Happy New Year!
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. So cool. I love you. I love you.
All right, thank you so much.
You rock. You rock. You rock.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Linda. Thank you, Linda, for doing
Thank
this.
you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Love you guys. I love everyone here. I pray for all of you for the best New Year.
Happy New Year. Make it happy.
Happy New Year. Keep checking back with us. Keep checking back with us at his website, Wanless Oracle. We've got tons of great stuff coming your way. Yeah, watch the inbox.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye, everyone. We love you.
You too.
The whole world showed up today.
Okay. I got a boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Yeah, boom. Oh, yeah. Thank you, dude.
That's the way to start the new year right there.
Boom, boom, boom.
We needed that.
Okay.
Boom.
So many beautiful faces here tonight from all over the world. Just wonderful. 16 different countries came tonight. Just amazing.
Boom.
Bye. Happy New Year.